Hi, I'm Elizabeth Licata. I'm Troy-Bilt's gardener-in-chief. I'm here today to help my friend Kevin create a new garden for his house. For a small urban lot, it's actually got a lot of different kinds of garden space. And we're just going to create one small bed today. So Kevin lives in this really nice circa 1880 Victorian house in the middle of Elmwood Village in Buffalo, and it has a lot of plantings around it. Clearly the previous owner planted a lot of perennials here, but what's happened is over the past few years things got out of hand. A lot of these plants, like these nice violas, lilies of the valley, vinca, Solomon seal, ferns, hostas, they're all good plants, but they've been allowed to go too far, and they're kind of all the same kind of green. So what we're doing is we've carved out part of this to create a focal point where we're going to prepare the soil and plant some different plants so that we'll have a little more variety, a little more contrast in the garden, and then he can go forward from there. So we cleared out this one plot of soil, and then the next thing that we had to do is make sure that the dirt was good to plant in, that it had the correct pH and the right sorts of balance between acid and alkaline in it. And the way you do that is you do a soil test. So I brought a bunch of soil from this plot to our Cornell Cooperative Extension, and they looked at the soil, did a test, and in fact told me that the soil was perfect balance, right pH, ready to plant in. Although it does have a lot of tree roots inside it, and we're going to have to work the soil and add some organic additions to it to make sure we can actually dig deep enough to get the plants in. When it comes to the question of how you should improve your soil, there is one answer, and it doesn't come out of a bottle or a can. It is compost that you've made yourself. I have a compost tumbler at home, which is really nice for an urban property because it closes tightly, and to help move the compost along, it actually rotates, so you can go over. It's kind of fun. Maybe even have the kids do it, is just to push the compost tumbler. You add dead leaves, live leaves, trimmings, household organic waste, but not meat, like orange rinds, coffee grounds, things like that, celery. Make sure it's all pretty much the same size, and then put it in there, and after a few months, you've got a nice crop of compost. So I've asked my friend, our homeowner, Kevin, to help me spread some of this compost. And is this something that you know about? Have you ever heard of compost before?
I've heard of it, but I've never actually used it or made it myself.
So is this something you think you might want to do?
I think so, yeah, if I can find some space for it.
It's fun. Well, it's sort of like, having this wonderful organic miracle happen on your own home. Is you have this, you start out with these raw leaves and sticks or whatever it is that are in there and coffee grounds, and it turns into rich brown dirt that was going to help your plants. So you can use any number of tools. I have a little three-pronged rake here, or you can use any other kind of rake, and what you're going to want to do is just sort of spread the compost around so that it's ready to work into the soil. So Kevin, why don't you add the rest of this compost here? Okay. So the next thing we have to do is we have to get this bed ready to plant in. We have to loosen up the soil and dig this compost in there. There's a couple different ways you can do that. Very traditional way is to do double digging, but you need to get 2 feet into the ground, and we're not going to do that with all these roots. And secondly, you could do lasagna gardening, which builds up from the ground, but that takes months to sort of get ready and work until, before you can plant in it. So we can actually prepare this soil sort of a quicker way by using this electric cultivator, and that'll only take about half an hour. So let's get started. So now we've added some compost, we've loosened up the soil, and we're ready to plant.